What's up guys, American Sputnik here, back in the city of Kazan, Russia. Today's video is titled, Is Russia Safe? Well, I'm here as an American, walking the streets of Kazan, Russia, alone at night. Is Russia safe? Let's go find out. Давай, поехали! So we came here to the southern side of town, where most people would probably not even go if they were a tourist here, but that's the whole point. I want to show you guys, the outskirts of town, just walking around, and the level of safety here. And here's a little disclaimer. I'm not really comparing this with every city in Russia. I'm comparing this with places I lived in the United States, as well as if people are planning to tour to Russia. Many people want to know if it is safe to walk around at night here. So here I am in an area that nobody would ever go to as a tourist, the Soviet era neighborhood. And I'm walking here alone at night as an American, and so far, I've seen some women walking by themselves, passing me. Doesn't seem to be much of an issue. But we're going to be walking around here, and we're going to head to two other parts of town just to see. But I got to watch out, because I might run into some gopniks, even though I am kind of dressed like one right now. But aside from that, we're just walking the streets here. Got a family walking around. Seems pretty safe to me so far. Couples walking around. This is obviously, these are all more Soviet era apartments. This is off the beaten trail. That's the whole point of this channel. I'm going to be going to places off the beaten trail. I have been to Moscow and I've been to St. Petersburg, and those are great cities, and I feel very safe there. But I want to compare to cities that most Westerners have never heard of, including Americans. Kazan, obviously, no one I ever met typically doesn't have any idea what this place is. Here we're walking around. As you can see, it's about 11 p.m. almost, it's like 10:30 at night. Pretty dead around here. There's a couple people hanging around, but no one's bothering me. Just chilling, walking the streets. And that's how I feel in every city I've been to around Russia. I've been to cities like Irkutsk, I've been to Krasnoyarsk, Izhevsk. Those are just a few cities I've been to off the top of my head that most people haven't heard of. And comparing to the United States, I felt a lot safer walking around at night in those cities than I did in my own. And if you haven't seen my channel before, you know I am from California. I lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in Seattle, Washington, and just recently was living in Colorado Springs. So, walking around there in a place like this at night, you'd probably find some homeless people, maybe sleeping under this bridge here. You might have, it is potential that you can get mugged. But here I don't feel that way at all. I mean, this isn't the city center, as you can see. This is nowhere near it, actually. So I'm just walking down the streets, speaking English with the camera in my hand, and nobody's even looking at me. So I'm just, if you plan on coming to Russia and you're worried if it's dangerous or anything like that, check out these videos, and I can tell you it's 100% not dangerous if you're walking around as a tourist. And most of the time you're going to be in touristy areas if you are coming, especially from the States. And no one's going to bother you. I had more issues living in Colorado Springs. I used to deliver all around downtown and some other parts of towns. I've had people break into my semi, steal stuff out of it, try to start stuff with me. When I was making a delivery one day, right before I get pulled up to my stop, I would deliver to this courthouse. Here we got kids walking around with their family. I was pulling up to the courthouse in Colorado Springs, broad daylight, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Cops had everything all shut down. They told me there was a shooting out here just before you arrived, and the place is closed because I delivered 7-Up to the cafes there. So obviously, people are getting shot in broad daylight, and it's a pretty normal thing in the United States. Here it's not so common. Things happen everywhere, but honestly, it's less common than cities in the U.S. And most Russians who plan on traveling to the United States are planning to go to Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles. And those are places you definitely want to watch out for. But here we're going to head on the metro. Go check that out. Здравствуйте. Да? Сколько стоит? Хорошо. I'm gonna buy some raspberries here. Да, да. 150? Хорошо. Хорошо. Спасибо. Хорошо. Got some raspberries from a lady outside the station. Here alone in the middle of the night selling raspberries. Here we're walking into the metro area. You know, and this is, you know, in any big city in the US, you would see homeless people here asking for money, doing something. I mean, at least someone's providing something good to sell instead of just blatantly asking for money on the street. So, a little history on the city of Kazan. It actually used to be quite dangerous back during Soviet times. But now, you know, things have changed a lot since then. They did have a TV show that came out about 1.5 years ago called Slova Patsana, and it showed about the criminal gangs that used to run Kazan. But obviously a lot has changed. It's very safe here, and I do recommend watching the show. I know people who were alive during that era here and told me it was definitely pretty dangerous. But I'm gonna go through security and hop on the train. 1941 to 1945. Still got a lot of the 80 years of victory commemorative things around. We are still celebrating that. And I was at the Dien Победы parade, the Victory Day parade for the Great Patriotic War. Go check out that video if you haven't. Here we got the metro station. It's pretty late at night. You know, there's not really many people here. We got people actually cleaning the floors. It's an interesting sight to see, because if I were in Los Angeles, there'd be people spray painting the walls instead of cleaning the floors. So as you can see, this metro station is very beautiful. They got commemorative photos of the Great Patriotic War on the wall. It's beautiful chandeliers. We are in Prospekt Победы. Well guys, I made it off the train and I didn't get mugged or I didn't see any homeless people. So public transportation, definitely safe in the middle of the night here in Russia. We're gonna go walk up in a more central area for you guys to see. Alright, so I'm in a different part of town now. I'm in it's a Bauman Street. This is a more central area, obviously, more touristy spot. So it's obviously something I guess I probably should have filmed a while ago, me living here in Kazan. But I will be showing this area a lot more in other videos. But as you can see, you got people just walking the streets. You know, I don't have anyone asking me for money or trying to mug me here. It's late, again, it's late at night. You know, got people still selling some street art. Very cool. That's an awesome painting. But there's no people camping out here in tents. There's no people using narcotics in public. And that does happen often in the US. I've seen it myself, and just recently my cousin sent me a video from Seattle of a guy smoking some substance off foil at a bus stop in front of everybody. But obviously, you would never see something like that happen here. Another good reason to live here. My son's gonna be raised here. He was just born here a couple weeks ago, so definitely feel like this is an ideal spot for him to live. A lot safer, walking around. You know, my wife and I lived in the US together for 5 years. I did meet her in the US, and you know, after coming here every year for a course of 5 years, in the summer, you know, we just decided this is a better place to raise our son, or have a kid, start a family. You know, the level of safety is part of the reason. The main reason is our family's here, and you know, we're really close with them, and all the political stuff is just a side bonus. Because I can say my life was actually pretty good in the US, but I still decided to come here. You know, I think the most important thing I needed was family and people to be around my son. And, you know, I didn't really have much of that where I was living. I had a good job and all that, but none of that really mattered. And I'm much happier here. But yeah, I mean, it being 11 p.m., you still got people out with their kids riding scooters around with their family. And it's actually, but it's quite safe here. And this is a more central area, which the reason I went to the more off the beaten path areas are to show that, you know, it's safe everywhere. Most people would say, oh, you're only in the city center. Well, I didn't go to the city center at first for that exact reason. And the city centers in cities in the United States usually are where the most characters hang out. Here we got, on this side, the Russian McDonald's. Vkusna i Tochka. And I have been there many times. If you guys want me to make a video, leave it in the comments. I have made reels about it. But yeah, it's the Russian McDonald's after Western sanctions. And honestly, I think it's better, in my opinion. Some of you may disagree with that, so I don't know. That's just my opinion. But as you can see here, I don't feel like I'm going to get mugged. I'm walking down the street, speaking English with a camera, and nobody's bothering me at all. I'm walking through this park here at night alone. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. I'm alive. So if you do plan on coming to Russia, yes, it's completely safe. It's completely safe to walk around at night alone. Can you find problems? Yes, you can find problems anywhere. If you're looking for trouble, you can definitely find it. You know, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but obviously if you're here coming to tour, you know, be a tourist and enjoy the beautiful history of Russia and travel around, don't feel like you're gonna get mugged in the middle of the night walking down the street, because you definitely won't. You know, it's very uncommon, especially in, you know, places that you would normally go as a tourist. But even in this video, I went to places tourists would never go, just to show that the level of safety here compared to the United States, again, compared to the United States, a lot better. Well guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos about my life here in Russia, as well as traveling to other cities across Russia. But for now, до свидания, y'all.